So remember we said one of the things that could constrain a project speed is budget. How fast you've got money coming in can help dictate how fast the project can be completed. Not only for that reason, but also just for the overall amount of commitment, people want to know how much is the project going to cost. So the budgeting chapter really culminates in creating a budget, and a lot of times the official way of saying that is that's the cost baseline. This is what we commit to. So if we're going to create the budget, there's several pieces of information that we need to begin with. First of all, from the work breakdown structure, we need to know what are we creating. Then we need to understand, that's all the deliverables. Then we need to understand the work activities. And we have to know when those work activities are going to be completed. And we get that in the budget, in the schedule. If you remember with the schedule, we're looking at the estimated time for an activity and the sequence, the order in which it can be done. We create the schedule. What we're going to do in addition to this, is we're looking at how much is it costing to do each activity. Now there are two different kinds of costs involved. One is a fixed cost. So if you've got to buy an item or a piece of equipment to do an activity, you're probably going to put the cost of that at the beginning of the activity when you have to buy the equipment. But the variable cost, we're going to pay as we do the work. So for instance, in this one, the first item we have, 3.1.1, takes 10 days, and it's taken $200 a day. So that'd be a total of $2,000, and that's going to be spread out over the 10 days in which that project task is completed. So the way we're going to do this is budgeting in most organizations is done in time buckets. The buckets, the big buckets are years and fiscal quarters. Smaller buckets are months and even weeks. So generally, we're going to define which month or which week we're doing certain activities on. And so we can put our schedule, our Gantt chart schedule, across that, and we can see exactly when they'd be. For simplicity, on this example, we're going to assume we have 20 work days per month. That's kind of average, but of course with holidays and things, sometimes they're 19 or 21 days. And we see when each activity is there. The next thing we're going to do is beneath it, we're going to create a table where we're going to show which month each activity is being paid and how much. And some of those, like the first couple, are both done in September. And so all the work is there. But if you look at the third one, a little bit of that bar is in September and most of it's in October. And so that particular one has $400 in September and $2,000 in October. So sometimes a particular activity spans more than one time bucket. So we've got all those. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to add up. So for each time bucket, in this case months, remember, we're adding up. So the first month we expect to spend $10,000. The second month we expect to spend $6,000. So the total at that point is $16,000. And then another $6,500 to bring the total to $22,500 for the overall project. The budget tells us at least two things that are really critical. One is how much total money we expect to spend on the project, and the second one is when we need the money to pay all the bills that come in. So this is a time phase project budget.